Antarctica. Introduction. In the southern hemisphere, almost within the Antarctic Circle and encompassing the South Pole lies Antarctica, the world's fifth largest, the coldest, the highest, the driest and the stormiest of all the continents in the world. Landscape. About 98% of its surface is covered by a permanent, the thickest and the largest ice sheet in the world. It comprises of about 29 million cubic kilometers of ice, which accounts for about 90% of all the ice and 75% of all the fresh water in the world. The thin margins of this enormous ice sheet are extended into the surrounding waters along many coastal areas known as ice shelves. The largest iceberg so far recorded in the world was sighted in the southern Pacific Ocean in 1956, covering an area of about 31,000 square kilometers, which is slightly larger than Belgium in Europe. Climate. Strong west winds race clockwise relentlessly around the continent and result in the westerly ocean currents encircling the continent called the west wind drift. Antarctica, being the coldest continent, records the lowest temperatures in the world during the winter in late August, and they usually range from minus 20 degrees Celsius on the coast to minus 70 degrees Celsius in the interior. The world's lowest ever recorded temperature of minus 88.3 degrees Celsius was recorded on August 24, 1960 at Vostok, a Russian research station, which lies at an altitude of 3,420 meters, 1,300 kilometers from the coast. Usually dense, cloud and fierce winds known as katabatic winds characterize the Antarctic coasts. At times, suddenly they give rise to Antarctic blizzards, with wind velocities reaching as high as 225 to 250 kilometers per hour. Antarctica is the driest continent in the world. In the dry valleys region, no rain fell in the past 2 million years. The precipitation in the interior, which is in the form of a dry, powdery snow, is equivalent to less than 5 centimeters of rainfall per annum, and it increases to 50 centimeters in the coastal regions. Natural vegetation. The freezing temperatures and the long periods of sunlight, followed by the long periods of darkness, create the most adverse conditions for plant growth on the Earth's surface, making it the only treeless continent in the world. There are 400 species of lichens, a few species of mosses and algae, and only 2 species of flowering plants. Native animal life. All the animals that live in abundance in the cold Antarctic waters are insulated with blubber, a thick layer of oily fat just beneath their skin. They include different species of seals and whales. The characteristic birds of Antarctica are the different species of the penguins. Scientific investigations revealed that the rocks of Antarctica contained fossil remains of ferns, forest trees, small, primitive mammals and giant dinosaurs, which are at least 140 million years old, indicating that much warmer climate prevailed over this continent during that time. Mineral wealth. Antarctica contains minerals of antimony, chromium, copper, gold, galena, lead, molybdenum, tin and zinc, besides coal and rock phosphate. Recent studies indicate locally high concentrations of ferromanganese nodules on the floor of the southern Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Scientific investigations. Our country has established all-weather, permanently manned research stations Dakshin Gangotri and Maitri on the continent and is conducting scientific expeditions to Antarctica every year. Tourism potential. This continent contains vast and non-yet polluted scenic resources which seem to hold a rich potential for the future economic growth in the field of tourism industry, which has already commenced.